If I could only give you 4 predictions, these are the 4 that I would give you. I'm going to break it up into a series of 4 videos, 1 player per video, 4 players total. We're starting with number 1, Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow. Why he wins you a league single-handedly in 2023. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.
Number 1, win a league player 2023. Best value grab in all of 2023. Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow. Round 4, sometimes round 5, but easily falling in, let's say, the 4.3 to 4.12 range, meaning he could be your 4th drafted player almost every single draft. Meaning you don't have to go early quarterback in Hurts or Mahomes or Josh Allen, although those aren't bad moves. I am the defender, the Robin Hood of defending early quarterback. But the crazy part, the reason why he is the best player in fantasy football 2023 is he belongs in round 2. If you know my content at all, you've heard this before, that Joe Burrow belongs in round 2. I don't care what anybody tells me. I know this to be true. He is every bit as good, has every bit of upside as these 3 gentlemen that live and are housed inside round 2. These are round 2 staples, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes, and Josh Allen. That's where they live, round 2. And coming out of January, Burrow was lingering in round 2. People don't really remember very well. People have foggy memories. But Joe Burrow was lingering in this round 2. He quickly dropped into round 3. This is where he probably would have stayed if Justin Fields didn't have a revamped team in the offseason and get DJ Moore via trade. See that entire team start getting rebuilt. Ryan Poles has done an amazing job. Joe Burrow got nudged down by this magnificent man as he climbed right into round 3. And for some reason, Fantasy Worlds just couldn't have it. They said we can't have both these guys. And here someone's got to get bumped down. Joe Burrow got unnoticeably bumped down to round 4. No one's talking about it. No one's talking about it but me. No one's talking about it but our community. But we don't care. We're not complaining. This is a gift. An absolute gem, glory, we call it. And so he sat here for a while. Then this man, Lamar Jackson, got his new contract, got Zay Flowers, and honestly, the ADP didn't react right away, but slowly but surely, he moved into round 3 on the regular. And you would think that somehow, some way, these guys would either end up together or Joe Burrow would then get bumped down more and Fields would go to 4. But for some odd reason, Fields went to 5. Joe Burrow's lingering in bottom of 4, top of 5. Sometimes these guys are both in 5, but we'll be safe. We'll try and play it like worst case scenario here. And this is how we're looking. 3, 4. I mean, oftentimes he does go in 4 as well with Joe Burrow, Lamar. But Lamar's going ahead of Burrow right now. In fact, here's a real-time screenshot of Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, the best ADP around, the best fantasy football, best ball drafting around, the best higher-low pick'ems around. Use code Smitty. The link is in the description of every video. If you use code Smitty, you'll get up to $100 bonus match on your first deposit. But this, my friends, is the best way to play fantasy football, best ball, and all kinds of pick'em stuff. Do it live. And on said Underdog ADP, where people are paying good money to draft, so it's accurate ADP data. The rest of the ADP data on free mock draft platforms is garbage. People will draft until round 5, then bail, and the computer will take over and pile bad ADP data on bad ADP data. If you want accurate ADP data, which I have always posted at thefantasyfootballshow.com, the ADP data I'm referring to is on my site in the rankings section on thefantasyfootballshow.com. This ADP data shows Lamar Jackson locked in. 35 overall. That puts him right at the very tail end of round 3. Joe Burrow, 44. That puts Joe Burrow past the middle of round 4. So we've got it plotted out pretty accurately. And you see Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen dipping into round 3. But oftentimes, I see these guys going around 2. It really depends on the time of day. But we're going to safely nestle all 3 of these quarterbacks in round 2. And Justin Fields is 49 overall, which puts him right at 5.1, 5.2 in this territory, right at the top of round 5. So we got it plotted right. Minus a couple of these guys in round 2, sometimes falling to the top of 3. My major point here is to tell you that this man, Joe Burrow, was correctly slotted in round 2 at the end of 2022. He should have remained there, but for reasons I don't know or understand or care about, we're not only gifted Joe Burrow falling to 3, we were gifted not only Joe Burrow falling into 4, but falling past the middle of round 4. Understand what I'm telling you. Don't take him in round 2. Don't take him as the number 1 drafted quarterback, but understand what I'm telling you. He is, in my mind, easily the number 1, arguably the number 1 to 4 quarterback in fantasy football 2023. He could finish 1, he could finish 2, he could finish 4. Technically speaking, Fields could jump up and be number 1 or 2, so he could finish 5, but I believe he's capable of being the number 1 overall quarterback in 2023 fantasy football, and he's hiding in round 4. 2 of my biggest predictions that came true last year, that won leagues for people over and over and over again last year, was Jalen Hurts in round 6, 7, Joe Burrow in round 6, 7 sometimes. Those 2 predictions absolutely won leagues. For some reason, this guy proved himself. For some reason, people don't realize that Jamar Chase played injured much of the year, missed some time, that Joe Burrow didn't have a good offensive line. They've improved that. They have the best offensive line they've ever had by a long stretch. Walking into 2023, he had a very slow start to the year. Joe Burrow's getting better at running the football. He's now a 200-yard rushing quarterback and 2 to 3 rushing touchdowns. That is an added bonus to his arsenal of scoring opportunities. Joe Burrow could throw for over 40 touchdowns in 2023. I wouldn't even bat an eye if he threw for 40, 41, 42 touchdowns. I wouldn't even be shocked. In fact, I'd be disappointed and embarrassed for myself if he didn't score a total of 43, 44, 45 total touchdowns in 2023. This could be the NFL MVP. This could be the year he wins the Super Bowl. This could be the year that everything falls in line for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals and for Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, number 1, arguably in fantasy football in points per target, could have that 1,500 yard season and 15, 16, 17 total touchdowns. You heard me correct. Jamar Chase could have that kind of season. He's my number 1 overall player in PPR or half PPR. This is a no-brainer for me in round 4. I would take him in round 2. Don't tell anybody. I would take Joe Burrow if I had to, and I don't. I would take him in round 2 without batting an eye. So to take round 2 value and double it down to round 4, past round 4, what makes anyone in their right mind not say, this wins me a league, Smitty? It wins me a league. It wins me a league, plain and simple. There's no risk. He will sleepwalk into 4th round value. You can't say the same thing about the other quarterbacks before him. Even Lamar. Lamar's got the PCL injury that should be healed according to most people, but you know what? He had a grade 2 to 3 tear. A grade 3 surgery. He almost had surgery, meaning that PCL was definitely damaged and stretched out. Will it tighten up? Will it ever be 100%? Whenever Lamar Jackson's manhandled and told to do this, play differently, run less, throw more, whenever he's not able to be Lamar, he has failed and faltered. Todd Monken is implementing a pass-heavy attack, less running. He's going to run less like before. That didn't work out. Has the PCL injury, new offense, and he's supposed to throw. Not saying he's a bust, but I don't like him in round 3 at all, and I will never, ever take Lamar Jackson in 2023 in any draft over Joe Burrow or Justin Fields. So you can imagine I will never own him. Doesn't mean he's a total bust. Doesn't mean you shouldn't take him, but he's looking like a total avoid for me. Not a total bust, but a total avoid given the cost of entry, and that 2 players I love much more are getting drafted significantly later. And so these are like parachutes that I'm going to grab versus jumping out of the plane early in round 3. This wins you a league. When you build a team, let's say you get the 6th overall pick and you get Bijan at 6 overall. You get Olave right smack in the middle of round 2. Some say that's too early. I disagree. Maybe you're so lucky to get Garrett Wilson in the middle of round 2, and if you can do it, do it. But not all of us are so lucky to play in grandma leagues. Barkley in 2. I'm going to use Olave here. Gibbs in the middle of 3. Burrow in the middle of 4. Maybe in a grandma league you get so lucky to pull this off. Maybe you get a Barkley or somebody in this territory. The point is, Joe Burrow in the middle of 4 is a steal. Joe Burrow at the top of 4 is a steal. Joe Burrow falls a lot of the time to the 4.6 to 4.12 range. Again, sometimes on underdog ADP, he falls to 5.2, 5.3. I've got him there several times over the last week, but this is where he lands. In Superflex, everything changes because Joe Burrow and every quarterback in the top 7 goes literally 1 through 7. And he is arguably one of the biggest steals in a Superflex draft from 5 to 7, 5 to 8.
Joe
Burrow
wins
you leagues. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. This is my number 1 win a league player in 2023, but I'm not done there. Part 2 coming tomorrow of my 4-part series. If you could only watch 4 videos or 1 series of mine for the entire 2023 season, these are the 4 videos. These are the 4 players. These are the 4 win a league monsters that you need in your life. Now get out of here.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.